Welcome to That RPG podcast, where every great adventure starts with a single idea.
I'm DQ, and I'm thankful to be your friendly neighborhood GM.
I'm Courtney Staples, and I'm thankful for my friends here who I play RPGs with.
Now I'm Johnny Law, and I'm thankful I get to play TTRPGs and design them and talk about them with my awesome friends as well. Enough talk about sides. It's now time for the main course, our adventure hook.
For our adventure hook this time, it's been submitted by our guest, C.R. Rowanson, our first interview on That RPG podcast, who recently released a book called Spawn Point, a lit RPG. So go ahead and check out that episode. But he has submitted a prompt for us for this Thanksgiving holiday, if you celebrate such a gluttonous, disgusting holiday. And the prompt goes as follows. The village or district is throwing a holiday party, and you have to go catch the prized feast animal, and complications ensue. The tenets are, the village is attracting people from different neighboring locales for the feast for diplomatic reasons. Number 2, the feast animal is dangerous and rare in some way. And number 3, people have gone missing. So this is our Thanksgiving themed adventure hook. Not solicited in any way. It arbitrarily came to us just by chance. We're thankful.
So thankful.
Very, very thankful that it fell into our serendipity.
Exactly. We didn't orchestrate anything. We don't even know Clark Rowanson. He just wandered onto our podcast. And he's like, promote my lit RPG. And we're like, what is a lit RPG? And then it just all unfolded. Mm-hmm. That's how it happened.
That was actually filmed on Chat Roulette, that interview.
Yes. You know, we found... What's his name? Keith Amon? Is that how we pronounce his name? Keith Amon.
Why are you getting in my face like a
Let me ask
70-year-old lady?
Keith Amon.
Do you know Keith Amon?
On Chat Roulette or Chat Roulette? How's it? Roulette, right? Roulette. So on Chat Roulette, we found Keith Amon, who we'll be interviewing in December. Isn't that amazing?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I thought you were joking. Oh my God.
Cool?
That's pretty cool.
He did the book, The Monsters Know What They're Doing, and he's promoting a new book that we have the opportunity to discuss with him.
It's called The Monsters Know What You're Doing.
Exactly, and they're going to get you.
No, they have the receipts.
They're going to fucking get you.
Well, I did want to suggest, the feast animal is dangerous and rare in some way. Could we just roll on the monster table?
Oh, God damn it.
To find out what our feast animal is going to be.
Son of a bitch.
70.
70? All right, I want to find that. A lamprey.
So a dire lamprey would have to come off a humongous animal. You're not hunting the giant or giant animal, but you're hunting the lamprey on the giant animal.
You're right. And then it also sets an underwater or coastal environment for this. This is a village now that is hunting a giant or a dire lamprey that's attached to a much larger creature we've determined.
Seaside village, but they're coming from attracting different neighboring locales. So probably not seaside. That makes it interesting. Unless it's a bunch of like an archipelago of.
Oh, I like archipelago.
Could do that, or is this village just like a floating city on its own?
Is it in the sky and it's a flying lamprey on a flying whale monster?
I guess that would get us away from the ocean, which Sean hates.
I mean, I'm okay with either. So it's a flying creature and they're flying lampreys, and this is a floating archipelago. So why are they having this feast?
It's obviously a test to get the lamprey. I think the fact that it's a lamprey really changed everything because you're not hunting. You're hunting an aspect of the thing.
You're hunting the big thing to get to the piece of it.
Yeah, you're not trying to kill a giant prey. You're not going for big game. I mean, although it is a dire lamprey, so it's got to be pretty fucking big. But you're going for the thing that comes attached to the thing, so you can't disturb the thing. And you're doing it a favor, but it might not see it as such. So there's a lot of cool elements where it could be. Is the creature sacred, and you're actually helping it by getting lampreys off it? Maybe it's not one lamprey, maybe it's several lampreys. Maybe you're cleaning it off,
and you're gonna eat all of them too at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big piece at the end.
And the lampreys are now filled with its sacred blood.
True.
Because they got to get blood in there somewhere.
Who knows what we could do with the blood?
Yeah.
So here's what I say. These islands are in turmoil over territory. throughout the year. And this one time a year, they stop fighting. Wherever territories are laid out, the final conclusions are determined by lamprey coverage.
What do you mean, lamprey coverage?
Like, so how much, like, each island people, they send out their best warrior, they're able to, like, to negotiate their land. So instead of having wars, they have this yearly lamprey thing where they build up one person to, like, excel at the sport, and then from there, like, that's how they decide how territory falls out.
And it would mean too that the creature is really important to them in some way, because they're also protecting it by removing these creatures from it.
Leaks milk. And they hold out their bowls and they catch it and they drink it.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out, like, why would it only be happening once a year that they harvest these lampreys if the lampreys are actually hurting this creature? Is it like, does it only get low enough in the sky a certain time of year or something? Like it comes down to feed or something like that?
So, like, lampreys on sharks don't hurt it in the long run. Like, they don't, like, sharks don't die because of lampreys. So sky shark, I don't think would die, but I think it's more of like that's what I was thinking. It's more of a
ceremonial. Yeah.
But I do like the idea, like, maybe it is a specific time of year, or maybe that's the window of when they could, like, maybe it's like a space thing, and it dips into like that. Like,
oh, it's from outside the atmosphere. It comes down.
Yeah.
Is it like I mean, to the sun idea, like, is it vital? This creature, the larger creature, is it vital to their society in some way, to their function?
The milk.
Does it just like it's like
dripping?
Does fishy teeth just like drip? It gets engorged when it's in the atmosphere, and they just got these huge fishy tits.
You know how rain clouds work, right?
Yeah, but there's
yes,
huge, like 12 to 700 tits on its body.
They're not teeth; they're actual tits. They're actual.
They're tits, like they're huge. They have multiple nipples on them, and they're just like so engorged. They just like squeeze out the milk. How do you think about that, Courtney?
I don't like it at all. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Trying to think of other things that maybe this creature could provide. So perhaps
you've got like 10 seconds before I lock in tits.
Perhaps instead of luscious tits with milk, it's maybe it's like shedding scales or something that they can use.
Ew. Oh,
or
we're talking about food here. Come on. Scale shedding.
So we're saying that there is some natural resource of this large creature of your GM that's important to their society. The compromise, it sounds like the creature, there's some natural resource it produces that the society harvests. And this is giving back to it, taking these parasites off of it.
So going back to the sixth grade, or the 6-year-old version of this is that it's actually the whale is like the sun. On the fall equinox, it is equal enough with the world. Somehow, for some reason, it's backs on the spring. I don't know whale physics in this weird world, but I was thinking something. It's like the life-giving essence to the world, but it comes in reach that they can give back to it by helping clear it of the lampreys.
It must rain something down upon the world in the other seasons. That's not tit milk. That's not tit milk.
If we're going with space whales or something, could it be like whatever comes out of their blowhole?
Like stardust.
Yeah, stardust, not tit milk.
Yeah, that's it. So something that they emit is helpful. I mean, maybe it's okay. So if it's something that comes out of the creature, then maybe it's like it can be used as an energy source. I don't know what kind of how are we imagining the civilization of this place? Is it like for some reason I was picturing something pre-technology, but maybe it's not that.
They have a fucking flying whale. I mean, that's not.
They harvest tit milk, so I mean, they're not very smart.
No, so I would think that I'm still stuck on the islands, even though they're now in the space. There's still islands.
You can still be islands on the planet. Yeah, the whale orbits the planet. It comes.
Are they sky islands? Where are we at with islands? Okay.
So they're floating islands, and the whale comes from space in and out of the atmosphere. It sounds.
What's on the ground then?
Oh, a gas planet.
Okay. So maybe the whale gives off a cosmic dust that allows formation of new land and upkeep of land in general.
That works as the territorial dispute idea too, because there's new islands that are formed.
Yeah.
carries cosmic dust with it into the planet.
You can't argue where the whale is feeding the lands. So instead of doing that, instead of warring, they now have a competition and they do like a land trading thing. So like
And the
people,
winner gets the island.
so they actually keep moving islands throughout their life. We have a tenet that we haven't got to though.
Yeah, people have gone missing.
I was gonna say, I think the people that have gone missing are like the star athletes this year that have been selected to be the ones, and maybe they've disappeared. Maybe like some of the nations have.
Political conspiracy?
Well, I do like this though because that makes it so that the players aren't the star athletes. This is the backdrop. Is this event?
They could be like investigators.
So I really love that, Courtney. I think that's. Are you cool with that, DQ?
Yeah, I like that. It sounds like then we're trying to answer what kind of roles the players fill, but before we get there, we should answer the question of what genre this is, because we got to establish a premise for our players so we can sell it to them.
I'm definitely picturing like weird, like new weird or weird fantasy kind of like strange and kind of a mix of tech levels. I feel like I could see them having some fairly high tech things, but also being primitive in other ways.
I'm thinking of like horrible 50s American jet setters version of Islanders. Like it's like, it's very like like we're so happy all here, but then this gets serious. Like it's like colonialism. Is that what I'm saying? I don't know. Like medieval's not the right word either. It's ancient, but not Star Wars ancient, like not that kind of concept where it's that high tech, right? They gotta get into space. They gotta get into the sky somehow, but not into space. They can't get into space. They can only get in the sky.
I was gonna say too, if we go in like an Earthsea direction, I mean that was all like islands, and they had boats that they would put magical spells on to make them go faster. So it could be like a mix of giant bird things and like crafts that they, I don't know, enchant to float around in the
Is
sky.
there like a gas punk, like a gaseous punk? Is there like a, or is that just literally steampunk?
There's gas lamp, but I don't think that's what we're talking about.
No,
No.
I'm trying to think of like where it's like it's not steampunk with like like robotons, whatever, but like you have like it's on a gaseous planet below you. You're on islands floating above it.
I mean, it sounds. Actually, let's look at our.
In some ways, it's kind of solar punky because you're like living in harmony with the.
So solar punk. One thing about solar punk is the concern for the environment. So that would be that's a claim we'd be making in this case.
I mean, they are rebuilding land, floating islands, like they are.
And helping out this creature.
If we want to take it that direction, we would what we would start designing as an adventure is stuff that speaks to a preservation of the environment and a hopeful view of the future with protecting the environment. The other thing that comes to mind to me is planetary romance, which is what Star Wars technically fits into, or like Flash Gordon and other kind of science fantasy sort of settings where there's a kind of operatic view of the fantasy and the science is part of that. Like it's more fantasy than it is science, I would say. So that's one view. If you had a dark view of it, you could do Dying Earth, which is one of my favorites, where it's so far in the future that feels like it's primitive or in the past. So I think any of those could work, Depends on the message.
I see an element of Dying Earth, but I don't think that's like actually the right.
I don't think that's the right myth, because like Dying Earth is about like the world has collapsed and now we're living in this post-collapse world that's so far in the future.
No, this is how it's always been. But they might have been like the like derelicts of like space exploration and
their ancient history. Yeah, they might have been a colony that colonized this gas planet. And now they forgot their origins.
That could be cool. I like that.
like a cultural amnesia kind of thing. But like that's I feel like it's not. I feel like it's either low fantasy.
I mean, for the limited magic. Yeah.
Well, I just feel like the general like vibe of like it's not like like there's like a weird. It's like a fantasy sci-fi mix, but also like ancient aliens and
because it's not like a planescape where everyone is highly magical and they have knowledge of the universe, but it's also not like a dark sun or it's a fallen apocalyptic wasteland, right? It's a stable society, but they have like some high magic they don't understand and some technology that's magical. So I think we've described kind of where it fits between those.
We're not world building here.
We're trying to sell it to our players, right?
We're just adventure hookers doing whatever we can to get by.
We're just fantasy prostitutes. So if that's the case, we know our genre. What roles can our players play? What are our archetypes?
We did talk about how like the players wouldn't necessarily be the heroes who are going to get these lampreys, but like we could have one who is one of the
runner up. No, I think that's a great, like the failed, like just missed it, and not that they're a Mary Sue, but they might be more athletic than the rest of it.
So like the athlete candidate, there's an opportunity there for the GM for them to fill that role that they aspire towards. Because if you're thinking about like conflicts, maybe they feel like they're the failed whatever. And so you create the opportunity for them to do something heroic in the adventure. We need some kind of scientist nerd or scholar who understands the traditions.
What about like a stargazer or like someone that like is like the
whale watcher.
A watcher. All right. This is the smarty pants archetype.
And smarty, like book smart. Because I also think there should be the investigator. Like there's got to be someone that's like assigned to figuring out, and whether they're a journalist or police, I'm up for both or either or.
Okay, investigator makes sense because we have missing people, right? And these people are very important to the society's ritual. And if these athletes can't perform the ritual, there could be war. So that's high stakes already.
I do like the pleasure seeker, whether it's the
prostitute.
I mean, maybe that's part of their culture is like
prostitution.
Or they're just fairly open about it, and like maybe that's part of this holiday celebration. They all get together, and that could be like how there's no inbreeding, is they all get together and have a bunch of sex.
Well, maybe we can make it part of their religion. Maybe they have a religion of unabashed hedonism during this period, and their version of a cleric is this hedonist sort of representative who understands what you're supposed to do, and so they're like a sex therapist and also the prostitute, and they bring people together as part of the feast in that way.
It's like what's the series called? Crucial's Dart. It's Phaedra's trilogy by Jacqueline Carey. I've only read the first one. It was kind of, I don't know, it was alright. But it was interesting. The world itself was interesting because the main character is essentially a cleric prostitute, because in that world, sex is seen as the sacred thing, and like that. It's interesting, definitely.
We'll say the hedonist, like, because in many ways, if you think about this culture, like there's the formation of a new land, and there's this like very athletic approach to removing these things from their god in a sense. So creation of new land could be interpreted by society as sort of a fertility ritual. And so who's going to populate this new land? Maybe that part of the ritual is let's all, get together and procreate potentially,
I love the underlying aspect that they're trying to create. There's representatives from each nation because they're trying to allow interbreeding or allow to stop inbreeding, but like maybe that's part of the reward to the victor. They get to pick which members, because you don't know, it could be male female and it could be male female. That like we haven't decided that it's a matriarchal.
It's a big bang is what you're saying. Like,
it could be, but I think there's a lot of consent involved. A lot of consent.
Or maybe it's like even like you pick your partner for the next year or something, like trading spouses.
It's not like formal relationships in the way we know.
But I feel like like this character or this archetype would have to be someone of a select few, right, to make them an archetype. So like I think like it's like maybe the athletes have a choice of like prime from each.
It's like the Olympics where they're all fucking each other.
Yeah, exactly. But they're not necessarily physically the strongest. They might be the smartest. They might be the wisest. They might be the whatever. Like they fit into that. They're like the paragon of the nation. I got another one for you though. Concerned diplomat.
Okay, that makes sense. Making sure that procedures work.
It could be someone from the smallest landmass, like worried about what's happening because they thought they had a good shot that year. It could be someone from,
and maybe it was their athlete that got missing, and they're really concerned because they don't have an athlete, they're going to lose. Then
well, they thought they were going to win this year, and everyone's missing. Or maybe it's like the ones that are in control, and it's like they're trying to regain control. So that gives the players options for that.
We could have a sort of Ahab on analog. So someone who has been seeking out a particular, he doesn't want to kill the whale, of course, because that's
the whale milk.
But he wants the whale. He wants to suckle on that. Never mind. So he wants to. He's someone who maybe he's like the pilot. He's not the one. The athletes are gonna go in there and like rip this thing off of the tit of the whale. But this is the guy who drives the ship through the storms, and he's grizzled and old, and he understands the star charts and the paths. And he's never been an athlete. Maybe he wanted to be, but he's essential to getting them from point A to point B.
Like the grizzled staff member, or like the grizzled support staff, or like something along those lines.
Yeah, I call him the Ahab. That's his whole idea.
I mean, yeah, he could just be like essentially like a sky fisherman, like who's, very experienced at like skycraft, but
We have 6 so far. We got the runner-up, the whale watcher scholar, the investigator, the hedonist cleric, the concerned diplomat, and then the Ahab.
I think that's pretty good.
That's good. You only need, you have 4 players, so giving them a couple extra unchosen options really.
I think 6 is the bare minimum, personally.
or I guess another one to throw in there, especially because this is about food and we've been talking about cooking and stuff. The like chef or the cook or
The one who has to prepare the lamprey is very important.
And they've been working on this for a year. They were nominated the day after the last thing, and they've had a year to prepare, and all of a sudden there's no lamprey coming. So they're very
I bet you the lamprey needs to be prepared in a certain way too, like if it's not preserved and brought back the right way.
or it's like fugu, or if you eat it or if you prepare it the wrong way, you just fucking die.
Cool. So we've got all of those. Now the real question is, where can we go in this adventure? There's I can see this adventure being structured in terms of travel in many different ways, because we've got islands. But the question is, where is our focus? Is our focus the journey to the creature? Is our focus the investigation in the land that the ceremony takes place? Like, where are we?
I feel like it's the investigation and like probably doing it with a limited clock because you have to find them before the whale fully comes down.
So is it like several parts, or part of it's in the place where the ceremony is taking place, part of it's on the ship, part of it's on the island, on the creature?
I think it'd be interesting if there was multiple times in the adventure that the whale was accessible. So you kind of have to plan, like, and it could be like a 4-day period or something. Like, it doesn't have to be something, it doesn't have to be arbitrary. Like, it'd be very well planned out. They know, day 1 it's going to be here between these islands dates. So you still have nodes to choose from, but you're kind of railroaded a little bit, just in the sense of like general areas you want to be around.
That's a good thing, because that means there's boundaries of play. So we're saying the place where the feast is supposed to take place, so the central island or whatever, and that's where the creature generally moves around before it leaves. So we've kept them in that boundary, which is good for the GM. We have they're going to go to the other countries, no point. So we got the boundary. I guess the question then becomes, if it's going to be, where is this? When is this starting? So, for example, we know people have gone missing. So, why did they go missing? Did they go missing because the athletes were loaded up on the ship and already went and they disappeared? Or, like, what's the context of the mystery? What's the inciting incident?
We have to figure that out, huh?
A little bit.
I guess so. Damn.
So I would say that one island is revolting and trying to fuck it. And this could be like something where you could develop all the islands and then roll for it. Like that kind of thing, like who's the bad guy. But I think that's the idea, is that one island is trying to break the cycle. Maybe they've discovered a tech to either get off this area, or they have figured out a way to keep their island from crumbling, and they don't need the whale dust anymore, and they want to weaken everyone else.
Do the islands dissolve? Is that a function we're thinking?
I feel like that whale has to keep it go. Like, they might grow a little bit, but they're not expanding like exponentially. Like, they're being replenished, or they're replenishing. Maybe the whale creates new islands and they then add that, and as they lose bits, and they have learned enough. Like, it's not like random to them. Like, they know how to predict it.
So there's a territory in here that's a bad faith actor, basically. And so they become a suspect in this investigation.
That's the end. We don't know that going into the adventure hook, but that's what we learn. Like, I mean, the end of it is that one island is bad.
So then that's our antagonist, is what you're suggesting.
Yes.
So there is a political motivation among the islands to ruin this ritual that has kept the islands in balance because they have a greedy ambition.
Yeah, one set of islands has that ambition.
I think that fits in very well with our very grounded approach to keeping this as part of a society and keeping this as part of like a ritual that keeps a society functioning.
Just curious, like what would cause them to break in such a huge way, especially when like their lives depend on this.
I think it could be a couple things. I think either they have figured out a way that they don't need to depend on the whale anymore, whether it be technology or magic, whatever. I think it could be just straight up narcissism that whoever's in charge is like, well, fuck the Rose Garden, fuck this East Wing, like I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be dead in a couple of years anyway. Like it could just be something like that. Or yeah, fuck you if you voted for him. Fuck you. Seriously, if I could kick you in the face, I would. Anyway, sorry. Back to fantasy. We love it.
It could be a Bene Gesserit sort of situation too, where perhaps this island has people on it, their own hedonist clerics who say, you know what, we can predict the genetic evolution of our society and we want to be dominant. So we have predicted the patterns of the creature. And what we're going to do is make sure that we win the thing and we know where the islands are going to be formed going forward and we're going to populate them. So they have a grand plan to really take over the society genetically. Then you have a large conspiracy where it's not just the diplomats on the island, but this cult that is directing the future.
Are they still attached to a specific island, or are they outside of all of them?
Could be both. Maybe they're using the island as their prop and they have a larger goal.
I was more asking just like the Ben Gesserit kind of thing, like they don't belong to a house. They're their own.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of it being a bigger conspiracy, like across islands, that there are multiple people of this.
It's like the dark hedonist clerics that are hidden in the other island. They're working towards a grand conspiracy to control the whale and to direct the genetic evolution. And maybe they have access to the original records of the people who colonized this gas planet originally. So they have an agenda that we're not aware of. Like maybe they want to leave the world, or maybe they know something we don't.
Or it could even just be like a racist, pure bloodlines kind of thing. Like maybe they figured out that they're the descendants of like original crew members or something and stuff like that. And yeah, they basically just want to dominate society.
These are options for the GM. Like I think those are all three different outcomes we think could work.
Dialing back now to nodes. I feel like every island's a node. The whale's a node.
Do we? Well, so we were talking about trying to boundary the center. Do we want to open it up and let them explore a different island?
I think it's the option. I think it could be a cool option for the GM of being like, here are different clues on supposed islands. See how they get. Like maybe there's a deserted island. Like maybe there's like an area that like is irradiated or something like that. Like it's just, like I don't know. Like maybe have different options for how they build the world, and then you could either have the whale focusing on certain areas to kind of keep the game contained to 4 nodes at a time, or you just want the whale circling the center for 4 days and you leave it open and it's a total sandbox.
I mean, if you're going to make islands, why not let them explore them?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be like each one doesn't have to be fully fleshed out dungeon crawl kind of thing, but just to have areas of interest. Yeah.
I think they should all have flavors to them and all have something unique or whatever. And same thing though, that could be a part of a table. Like I like the idea of like having this flexibility of, or you could like turn a dial, like either you flip a switch, like whether you have the whale is traveling through this area, like Tears from the Kingdom, Legends of Zelda, follow the dragon around, or you like it's just there.
I like the idea of the clock still being sitting on top of this. So it's like the GM lays out a large, I think it's a point crawl, right? That there are points of interest all over the place. And maybe each point of interest is one little location in the island, or maybe it's like a larger location, depending on how you want to structure it. But the idea is, sure, you could explore all these points of interest, but you only have so much time. So you got to choose wisely, which means following the leads of the mystery to choose where to go before the clock runs out. Because it seems like one of the nodes obviously will be the creature itself, will be maybe the missing ship that the athletes were on when they were sent out that you have to explore. And, we're not trying to solve the mystery itself and generating this apparatus for the adventure, but we're trying to create opportunities for you to solve it as a GM. So it seems like the creature is a place, the travel to the creature is a place, the islands are a place. Are there other places?
Just real quick too, can you circumvent all this and actually fulfill the role of the hunters? And go after lampreys and the creature.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe you have to. Maybe you realize something with the athletes, you can't get them back, and you have to do it yourself.
I was also thinking, you mentioned something about like radiation potentially on an island, and like earlier when we were talking about the blowhole and what could come out of it, I thought like, oh, is there some sort of like radiation resource that they are using for power. But like, what if the whale itself is irradiated, and that's part of the challenge of getting to it? Because yeah, like you need like special suits and stuff because it comes from space, and it's like yeah, all irradiated.
I love that idea just for the fact that you could still have the option of taking the place of the contestants, but it's not just a matter of killing lampreys that are stuck to a whale. Like the whale itself is a lair action. Like it's a hazardous environment. I love that.
That's cool. And then what's neat about that, especially when we're talking about like fulfilling the roles of the athletes, like we had an archetype whose whole concept is I'm the runner up. So they get a chance to shine. And then you have people like the whale watcher. He really gets to be face to face with the thing he studied all his life. All that adds up. The Ahab finally confronts the creature and the lamprey and gets it off. There's all those options.
The cleric gets to either fuck the blowhole or get blown by the blowhole, depending on their gender.
And I think I think that's. Do we feel good about the nodes? Like I
feel like the nodes have to be a little loosey goosey. To be honest, if it's a OSR plus game, I would say that there's not a node between the whale and the islands. That's a travel segment. That's a montage. That's a
journey.
Yeah, it's just a different segment, different game of play. But I feel like the nodes themselves of the islands, I think you'd want within the islands to have a couple of like mini nodes.
Collections of nodes. Maybe some islands are more complicated.
Towns or ports or whatever.
Central City is probably gonna have a lot of nodes, and then like other islands might have just one node in each one.
But they might have like more history to them. Like I keep like going back to like it's like Olmec, Mayan, Aztec. Like that's the kind of technology they have, where it's like this elevated like understanding of the world, but not actual like flying machines. But somehow they're flying.
We should visit. Okay, I know that I just thought of. We said this was a gas planet. They might have to go down to the gas planet surface to get something that might be interesting. Old technology from the old days to figure out the
something orbiting.
Ooh, something orbit. Maybe they gotta ride the fucking whale in space. I mean, do the athletes? Okay, so darker question about the athletes. Like, so if the whale is irradiated and the athletes have to go to it to extract the lamprey, do they then have a limited lifespan because technically they're horribly cancerified after doing their work?
Or they've been building up a tolerance all their life?
I think it might be up to the GM and the players. Like, is it going to be like this dark thing where it's like a sacrifice, or is it like they just have suits that they can wear and they're fine?
I guess you could go either way. I like that. So you could play it like if you want it to be like a solar punk hopeful kind of thing. They have suits and this is a sacred thing. If you want to go a little bit darker, Dying Earth, you could say like this is a sacrifice.
And I feel like you could also have it that they have built up a tolerance. And the main thing though is that the players, the PCs, don't have immediate access to whatever this is. So if it's tolerance, like the runner-up might have it, but no one else is going to ever get it. Or if it's suits, they can get them figured out, but like you have to figure out a reason why they can't get suits immediately from like they're not endorsed by. Maybe it's a broader conspiracy.
I do like the idea though of like having that option from the get-go. Like it's not really put out there as like, oh, you should totally just go to the whale and do it now. But like they could, if they wanted to, actually sacrifice themselves. They could just go to the whale, harvest the lampreys, call it a day. But
that alone should be an adventure. Like the whale should then have nodes, basically.
On it, yeah, because it's huge probably. Right?
And just straight up tables, just the whole way, just tables. Like,
we can have caverns inside of it, for all we know.
We're going inside the whale.
Well, yeah, imagine getting swallowed by it. It's got like whole environment inside of it.
I gotta get my spreadsheet out. Hold on.
Then you can find it. You can see inside it sits.
Goddamn.
Whales have cloacas. No, okay.
This one has cloaca. It has 3 cloacas.
They got big dongs, so I know that.
It's got a cloaca dong. Like the dong itself has cloacas inside of it. It's like alien.
Oh, I mean, I guess it's your homebrew world. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, if that's what you want. If this is the kind of cranberry sauce you're making, like.
Ew! Why are you gonna bring that up, Courtney?
How dare you ruin our cranberry sauce?
Oh.
Okay, so the last thing we normally talk about is the antagonist. I think we did clip close to that. So really, for the GM, it's a question of how do you want to represent this cult that's secretly operating behind the scenes as a character, or more than one character.
I mean, I think that depends a lot on your whale and your whale rules and
how many cloacas it has.
Well, not that part, but more of just whether how it's irradiated. Why can't I say that word? Irradiated.
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 It seems like, because I just watched what the hell is it called? Silo. And a lot about that show is the political interactions of making a society survive and like what you have to go through to keep your society sustainable. And that's what it sounds like we're talking about in this setting. Like it's about sustainability to some degree. Like they want a society that can persist and there's rituals they have to perform for it to persist. That's really the theme in Silo. So I could see the antagonist then would be, you could interpret the antagonist in a couple of ways. It could be, especially in the light of Silo, it could be the person who is the martinet who forces this ritual to persist forever and there's never any growth. That could be a villain. And it could also be the someone who is progressive, who is disrupting the status quo and could destroy everything. That could be the villain. And you could characterize the cult that we invented, this shadow hedonist cult, as performing either way, I think.
I agree with that. I think that it could. I feel like there's a lot of flexibility with this. Like it's a very pinned in concept, but at the same time you can hem as you need to and
fit as many titties as you want.
And yep,
you know my wife's favorite word is titties.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she loves it.
That's what I used to say to smile for pictures.
I could going back to the whale and stuff. I could see that maybe there's some faction that even wants to like trap or kill the whale as like a way to be able to produce their own land or energy or whatever the fuck.
Take full control. That would be very apocalyptic too. And you could, I'm sure with enough finagle, you could make the hedonist cult villain want that, you know? So we've done all the work. Now it's time to blow it up with a twist. We can't roll a monster. This is your fault if we roll a monster. We cannot roll a monster. Can't do it.
Courtney, do not roll a monster. But everyone else, come visit us at PAX Unplugged November 21st.
This will be out after PAX Unplugged.
This is after. Hey, everyone. Why didn't you say hi to us at PAX Unplugged? We were wearing these sweatshirts.
Well, okay, it's a D4. But before you roll, we always talk about the adventure type. Now, it seems to me, we said this has a mystery underpinnings. It seems to me of all the choices we have exploration, mystery, dungeon crawl, open world, stealth, combat focused, overworld, political intrigue, resource management. So out of that list, I'm seeing exploration for sure, mystery. I don't see dungeon crawl, right? We're not exploring a very rigid structure, right? I don't see open world is more like actually, open world kind of works because it's got things like hex crawl, point crawl, city crawl, trial, right? So it could be open world. It's not stealth. It's not combat focused. The overworlds, we're not really concerned with the high level politics between all these island factions, although it may be a subject minimally. Political intrigue, there's a tad, but that's not what this campaign's about fully, right? And resource management, no. So I would say we're somewhere between open worlds with a dash of mystery, and there's exploration nodes in it. Now we can roll.
I hope it's not too similar to the one that we did for last one.
Don't roll a monster.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it. 1d4. Don't roll one. Don't roll one. Don't roll one. Don't roll one. You rolled a 1!
Monster!
I blame D4s. They're not like, I don't know. They just don't roll as well.
Hold on though. A monster is perfect for this because we don't actually have another enemy that's unrelated to politics or anything. The lampreys aren't fighting back.
What am I rolling?
D100.
All right. It's going to be a 9.
9. Okay, this says dragon in parentheses sand.
Okay. So there are dragons that live underneath the islands.
In the gas planets parts?
No, underneath they live clutched underneath the islands, the floating islands, the sand.
Do they eat the islands?
They get upset when the whale's coming down.
Oh, but Courtney said they're eating. Are they eating?
Well, because we had talked about like the islands potentially deteriorating. Like, what if they're chowing down on the islands too?
And they're opposed to John's saying they're also opposed to the whale.
Well, that's when they come out. So I think maybe they're absorbing or eating the island like hibernation throughout the year, and then they come out this time.
And they're a threat when the athletes go toward the whale because they probably also like attack the whale, I bet.
Yeah. Or they just cause sand troubles.
I'm picturing like these weird manta ray sort of beasts, with big folded wings that are wrapped up on the bottom of the island. They're gigantic.
That's cool. Yeah.
They're like little Cloacas inside.
No.
And then inside that is a dong. And then a cloaca.
Oh.
It's just like a kaleidoscope of genitals.
It's like the alien double mouth thing, but just forever and
Just genitals.
genitals.
All the way down. Wow.
Genitals
So
are all the
it's
way
just a
down.
wild creature. It's nothing special. It's just like a natural,
Well, they shoot a sandblast. They have to
of course.
blind you, knocks you off things.
They're huge.
But what are they when they come out? The presence of the whale annoys them and wakes them. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to kill the whale? Are they just running rampant? Are they trying to chase the whale away? Are they going after lampreys themselves?
Is it that it upsets them or that it like I don't know, makes them excited for a hunt because they
Are they just fucking?
because if they're sand dragons and they gain sustenance or something from the islands themselves, and the whale is creating these islands, and that deteriorates the islands, but then the whale coming down rejuvenates the islands. So, like, are they attracted to whatever the whale's blowing out? Or like,
Oh, that's why they come out. So maybe they don't actually want to hurt the whale. It's just that they see it's sprinkling a new island and they feed on that. So they come out and they start feeding on stuff.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, like
and then
that.
they're a threat. You fight with them.
Mhm.
Well, they're more of a detriment too, because they're stopping the repopulation of the island. But there must be some reason why the people don't take out the sand dragons on the off season.
They're just really hard to get to.
Maybe, yeah.
The
Maybe they just bury in, yeah, and they're underneath. Like, how do you?
That's the only time they come out. Yeah. I mean, it's too dangerous because in order to get to them, you have to drill into your own island.
or if there's like a sort of atmospheric layers or something where like the tops of the islands are kind of in this nicer part, but maybe below it's like maybe it is more of like a gassy sandstorm kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. So, like, below, it's just like chaos. So it's hard to get down and they come out of the chaos. So if you went underneath, you get fucked, you know? And they're in. I was gonna say maybe they're like squishy and they can like wriggle into the caverns inside of the
You
island.
really like this manta ray thing is in your head.
Like squishy little manta rays.
They're like they're like flat manta ray squishy things, right? And they like wriggle inside the islands, but just like Courtney said, the underneath of the island is like a chaotic sandstorm kind of chaos environment because it's the lower atmosphere of the gas planet. So going down there to begin with is a death sentence because the storms will destroy you. And then it's like once you get below the island, you have to go inside of these caverns where the little fuckers like goo themselves up in there. So you wouldn't do it. It'd be dumb.
Just not worth it.
Not worth it. And then when they come out, they wriggle out, they just open their wings and they fly out.
You can follow us at OSR Plus on YouTube or join our Discord at osrplus.com. If you want to support us, visit our Patreon, patreon.com/OSR Plus for early access to our content and premium access to our digital tools. See you next time.
Giant tunnels. We never. It doesn't have to be like little
They don't have any cloacas, they're just gooey.
inverse icebergs,
Yeah.
because icebergs are pointy at the top and fat at the bottom. These would be that way.
We did it.
Did we? Bye.